Thanks, Gerlach, and good afternoon to our witnesses. Just a number of questions for Sylvain of Dignitas, and thank you for your ongoing work. And as you said, you know, as in your background, you know, it's to live with dignity, to die with dignity, and I think that's very, very important, because those that come to Dignitas, they want to die, but because of circumstances, out of their kind of, I suppose, out of their hands, you know, they've come to your services. I'm not sure you can give the kind of figures that I'm looking for, but how many Irish people have availed of assisted dying in Dignitas since the foundation of Dignitas? Could you give us them figures?
The statistics is public on the website, and I have to quickly look it up as well. Okay. Ireland should be. It's 12 Irish residents since the year 2003.
12.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go to our website, dignitas.ch, in the section Knowledge, there is a subsection called Statistics, and there you will find figures about membership, about assisted deaths out of the last 25 years of Dignitas operating, and also statistics provided by the Swiss Office of Statistics in regard of diagnoses of people that make use of assisted dying here in Switzerland, and a special chart comparing do-it-yourself suicides, life expectancy, population, and assisted suicides.
Okay. And obviously the majority of people that come to Dignitas per year are coming from a country that voluntary assisted dying is illegal. So obviously Britain, other countries in Europe, outside even Europe. How many people would avail of assisted dying in Dignitas per year?
Can you repeat that question again? You mean from all over the world?
Yeah.
We have members in almost 100 countries around the world, and we are at a level of around last 6, 7, 8 years. It's always been between around 200 and 250 physician-supported assisted suicides per year overall.
Okay, so per year.
And yes, of course, the main number is, of course, mainly from neighboring countries, from close countries here in Europe, and of course from countries where they do not have that choice.
Yeah.
And
obviously there would be even people using services of Dignitas, even though in their country actually assisted dying could be actually legal. Is that could be the case?
Yes, well, if the eligibility criteria is a problem, we have talked at the very beginning of this conversation. We have talked about the U.S.-American law models, and which only allow access to assisted dying for people who are terminally ill, who are judged to be terminally ill, and expected to die within 6 months. So everyone excluded people with long-term neurological sufferings, multiple sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, all forms of dementia, early-stage dementia when they are still competent, all people suffering from severe psychiatric illnesses, and so on and so forth. All these people are discriminated against in the United States, and it is logic that these people would then potentially go to countries like Switzerland where there is more freedom of choice.
And I know this is going to be a difficult question to answer, but of those 200 or 250 people per year that avail of assisted dying, what stage are they at in relation to their condition? I know this is extremely difficult to answer, because obviously it's difficult. Because there are situations, and there's been a number of cases in Britain, where people have gone to Switzerland because, you know, they want to be in full capacity physically and mentally to make that decision. But because of the prohibition in the country that they live in, they're forced to go early. Now, I just don't think that's, you know, that's a terrible situation that people find themselves in. So maybe you can comment on that. And my final question is in relation to those that can accompany those that avail of assisted dying, because there's been a number of high-profile cases in Ireland around this, where somebody, if they assist or accompany the person, they actually could be prosecuted, which is absolutely ridiculous situation that people could find themselves. But that is the law. If you accompany somebody, you could actually be prosecuted. There was a high-profile case in 2011 in relation to this. But if you can answer them two questions, I'd be very grateful.
Thank you.
I think I mentioned it in the introductory statement that this is a huge, one of the big problems of a jurisdiction which does not permit real freedom of choice for suffering individuals, that these people are either left to take matters into their own hands and try a violent suicide attempt by whatever harsh method, rough method, or they go to Switzerland or another country which would provide more freedom. And yes, they would, of course, if they are so determined to make that choice, to determine the end of their own end in life, they would have to do that slightly earlier than what could be if they had that choice at home. And here in Switzerland, mental capacity of being able to do it yourself is always the base. We don't have voluntary euthanasia, so people in any case have to be still competent and still able to act themselves, which would be different if voluntary euthanasia was permitted. People go sometimes to put it in struggling for the right words. People go to extremes to get their choice, in that we had people coming with their ambulance from Britain to Switzerland to make use of an assisted suicide. So they can stay at home for a long time until they would have to use whatever to travel to Switzerland. But that's absurd. I mean, that must change. It cannot be that people need to travel abroad. It's the same as with abortion many years ago, where women from Ireland traveled to England to have that choice. And things like this must stop. Law must be in a way to give a human right to people at their home, and that has a life-prolonging effect. Here in Switzerland, we accompany people at their home. People don't come to us; we go to their home. And we have more and more palliative care teams, mobile palliative care teams, going to the people's home instead of people going to a palliative care ward. And this is the way forward. This is how it should be.
Thank you.